Hey folks, everybody having a good day? Hey Tom, June, y'all doing all right today? That cough is going to give me fits the entire show. Well, it's 6 o'clock. Time for the Mountain Crest Farm live stream. Today, we're going to have a topic, as you saw from the title, how to pick a livestock breed. Before we get into that, let me do a little bit of house cleaning. First of all, a bunch of y'all sent me messages over the past few days. I appreciate them. Really do. Let's see. My book, if you want to know how to raise pigs, down there in the description, there's a link to a book I wrote. Yesterday I couldn't spell pig farmer, and today I are one. It's Kindle only, available on Amazon. If you're a Prime member, you get it for free because Amazon Prime has a lending library. You can borrow, I think, 2 books a month. If you're not a Prime member, it's $8.99. Kindle only. Maybe someday it'll come out in paperback. Not today. Let's see, who all's here? Tom and June. Mary Grace. Hey there, how you doing tonight, Mary? Not, oh, that was a bad thing. I called her Mary. Mary wants to be Mary Grace, her entire name. And I fix mine. I'm Robert, but I insist on Bob, so Mary Grace has a right to do the same things I do. Besides the book, what else? After this show, if you got time to hang around on YouTube, Prepsteader Bob has the Self-Reliant Road Show. It is, I believe, 2 hours later. This one ends at 7. I think it's 9 Eastern, 8 Central, if I'm not mistaken. Pretty good show. And I'm going to apologize right up front for my coughing. Last few days, I have developed a pretty good cough. Well, let me take that back. Having smoked for 51 years, I've always had a cough. It's gotten a little bit worse in the last week or two. No, I wish it was allergies. I don't know what it is. I just, right in here, got a tickle that will not go away. That's one disadvantage to a live stream. If I if I was doing a recorded video, I could edit all this garbage out. Instead, y'all are going to have to listen to it, I'm afraid. Sorry about that. Hey, Pete. How are you doing tonight? Looky here. How you doing, Bob? No, it's not old age. There. I think that helped. Felt like it did. But anyway, topic tonight is how to pick a livestock breed. I hadn't even thought about doing a live stream or a video on that. Probably would have gotten around to it. But I was watching last week, I was watching another YouTuber, and they're new homesteaders. I'm not going to name the channel. They're new homesteaders. They know they're new. They know they have a lot to learn. They are not know-it-alls. They're really nice folks. But they were getting a lot of advice. Now, the subject last week was pigs, but what I'm fixing to go over in this show applies to everybody, not just, all animals, all livestock, not just pigs. It applies to chickens, it applies to goats, it applies to cattle, it applies to everything. I'm going to use pigs as an example since that was a subject last week on the other YouTuber. And it's what I know the best since I raise pigs. Now, I've also raised goats and chickens before, but I'm probably going to stick as much to pigs as I can on this one. But just know ahead of time, it applies to everybody. I don't care what you're raising, it applies. Last week they were getting a lot of advice about different breeds, and this one grows faster and this one has better feed conversion. Price was a big discussion, both price of buying piglets and cost of feed to feed one out to slaughter weight. And it seemed that all the commenters and the people I was watching their video, it seemed that price was the first consideration. How much do piglets cost? Some people were saying you can get piglets for $20 at the sale barn here, and some people were saying piglets went for $50 in their part of the world. Price is not the last thing you should consider, but it is far, far from the first thing you should consider. Let me suggest this. If you're thinking about raising livestock, any livestock, rather than start with how much does it cost, how much does it eat, how long does it take it to get to slaughter weight, you may not be going to slaughter it. Maybe you want to raise a pig for a pet. Well, if you're going to raise a pig for a pet, what that piglet costs and how much it eats is not your first consideration. Your first consideration is how big does it get. I'm going to suggest that when you're choosing a breed of livestock, any livestock, doesn't matter. When you're choosing a breed of livestock, go to the far end. Go to where you want to wind up and start there. What do you want out of your livestock? Instead of pigs, I'll use goats for an example here. I know people that will tell you they raised goats because they want goat's milk. Either they're going to sell goat's milk, or they're going to make goat's milk soap, or they're going to make cheese. And they'll tell you that their purpose in raising goats is the milk. But they're raising pygmy goats. They need milk for what they want to do, but they're raising a goat that gives you a pint to a quart a day, and that's it. Now, pygmy goats do have high butter fat, and if you're wanting to get cream, I understand that, but it's still not much. When I had a goat dairy, I used to have a goat dairy, had 20 goats. And the breed I raised was Sonnens because my primary purpose was cheese and milk. That's what I wanted those goats for. It wasn't for, I thought they were cute, and it wasn't for, I wanted to breed them and sell breeding stock to anybody. I wanted to produce milk because here in Georgia, I was getting $12 a gallon for milk. And when I made it into cheese, because I made some of the best feta cheese you've ever had. And that's not me saying that. That's a high-end chef here in the Atlanta area saying that. Cheese was $24 a pound. If you'd buy 5 pounds or more at the time, like that chef did, I'd drop it down some. He got it for $20 a pound. It takes a gallon of milk to make a pound of cheese. So still, I'm getting $20 a gallon. I'm not going to raise pygmy goats that are going to give me a pint to a quart a day. I raise Sonnens. A Sonnen is practically a cow. They are big. Full-grown Sonnen, a couple of years old, standing on the milk stand, weighs about 300 pounds. Believe me, they're heavy. I've had them step on my feet. They produce a gallon and a half a day each. So I was getting 30 gallons a day. Now, if you want to raise for milk, which would you rather have? 30 gallons a day at $12 a gallon, or 30 pints a day or 30 quarts a day at $12 a gallon? I started on the back end. What was my ultimate purpose in raising goats? And that's how I decided on the breed. You do that with anything. I used to have 100 laying hens because here in Atlanta, I can get, or not here in Atlanta, I'm not in Atlanta, but they drive up from Atlanta. I had a lady would drive 70 miles every single Saturday to get 1 gallon of milk and 1 dozen eggs. She paid me $12 a gallon for the milk. She paid me $7 for a dozen eggs. Brown free-range eggs. If they had been white, she'd have paid half that. And there's no difference. What's inside the shell is the same thing. It's the free-range part and how they're raised that makes a difference. But she would drive up here to give me $7 a dozen for eggs. I didn't start off saying, gee, I want cute chickens. I want chickens that don't have any feathers on their neck. They're called naked necks. I've got a neighbor over here. He just loves naked neck chickens. I think they're ugly. But my first decision in what breeds to get had nothing to do with what the chicken looked like, had nothing to do with what the chicks cost. It had to do with how heavy did they lay. I chose 4 breeds that laid about 310 eggs a year. I could have gotten some prettier chickens that laid 110 eggs a year. If I'm wanting to do it to sell eggs, which is the smart move? Well, let's get to the subject of last week's video that I watched. It was about pigs. There was a lot of discussion about what can you get a piglet for, and how fast does it grow, and how much is it going to cost you to feed it out to slaughter weight. And I would submit that's the wrong questions to be asking if you're wanting to raise pigs. The first question that needs answering if you're going to raise pigs is, what is my ultimate goal in raising a pig? If you want a pig for a pet, I don't suggest you get large black hogs like I have. My boar weighs 900 pounds, awfully big house pet. But if you're wanting to produce meat, you still have another question to answer. Are you wanting to produce meat as an emergency food that you're going to can, because you can can meat? Are you wanting to produce meat that you can put on the shelf? You don't care what it tastes like. You just want the protein available in case it's ever needed in an emergency. That's one breed of pig you would raise. Do you want to raise pigs for meat that produce a good quality meat? You know, not the other white meat, not the garbage that's sold in the grocery store, but good quality pork. Good pork looks like good steak. It's red. It's not white. And it's marbled. It's got flecks of fat all through it, not just around the edges. You've got to decide what you want to do with that pork. If you want to raise it for meat, either for yourself or to sell, and you care about quality, that's going to be part of what determines the breed you get. Not how much can you buy a piglet for. You've got to think about where you live. Some pigs can do well in harsh climates. I'm in Georgia. I raise large black pigs. I've got a client that I shipped breeding stock to. He is north of Fairbanks, Alaska. And he raises large black pigs up there. I can tell you right now, if you try to raise Durocs north of Fairbanks, Alaska, you're not going to have a lot of success. You're going to have a lot of dead pigs. So you have to look at, you start making those decisions about what breed in any livestock. You start making decisions on the back end. What's my ultimate goal with this livestock? And then work your way back. Well, let's just say, using pigs for example, let's say there's 200 breeds of pigs. And then you can double it because there's hybrids. There's this breed crossed with this breed. So you got 400 to pick for. And you're trying to decide, what do you want? Well, you're a beginner pig farmer and you want something that is friendly and has a good disposition so he won't hurt you. You've just taken those 400 and cut it to about 20, because most pigs can be really aggressive. I won't say mean, but they can be pretty darn aggressive. And when they get aggressive, believe me, a pig can do a lot of damage. A pig can kill you really fast. Um, so you down to 20. Now you have good disposition pigs. What's the next decision? Do you want good meat, or do you just want to have some pigs out there? Well, if you want good meat, you've now cut it down to probably 4 or 5 breeds of pigs. And when you throw in hybrids, you're down to 10 breeds to choose from, because you're just not going to get good meat out of most pigs. Pigs have been destroyed in this country because of commercial farming. Used to be people raised good pigs that produced good meat, and there were pigs. Every rural community, you could get good pigs that produced good pork. And then in about the 1930s, commercial farming got started, and they started raising pigs in barns. Mamas and farrowing crates most of their lives. They get out long enough to get pregnant and put back in a farrowing crate. And they ruin most breeds that you see today are crosses that have been developed to grow fast, be healthy, and have a good feed to weight gain ratio. That's all commercial farmers care about. And that's most of the breeds you see out there today. And even within the heritage breeds, you're getting away from some of those criteria, but you're still looking at pigs that some of them will be what you want and some of them won't if you're wanting to raise them for meat. Where do you live? How hardy is the pig? Well, we've already gone over that. Be sure you pick a pig that is appropriate for where you live. Feed. How are you going to feed your pig? Are you going to feed them? I'll tell you right now, you can take the best pig in the world. People talk, old times slopping the hogs. If that's how you're going to feed your pig, just go buy the cheapest pig you can get, because I don't care what breed of pig you raise. I raise large blacks, which I think have the best meat that any pig has. I raise large blacks, and then I raise large black Berkshire hybrids. The meat on them is awesome. And if I slop the pigs, if I feed them just like people used to, going out and slopping the hogs, the meat will be just as junky as the stuff in the supermarket. So how are you going to feed your pigs? What kind of feed is available where you live? Is there forage? Get a pig that's good in the woods. Get it foraging if that's what you've got. That's what I've got here. Do you live somewhere where you don't have a lot of forage, or you don't have a lot of forage that's nutritious? Pick a different breed. Large blacks are slow growers. If somebody's in a hurry and wants to raise pigs a little bit faster, large black's a bad choice. A large black Berkshire cross is a good choice, though. I consider slaughter weight to be 300 to 325 pounds. Large black, or a full-blooded large black, purebred large black pig, 13 months, maybe 14 months to reach 300 pounds. Cross it with a Berkshire and that hybrid, it's called hybrid vigor. That hybrid will reach the same weight in 10 and a half to 11 months. If you're looking to save money, that's the place to save the money, not trying to buy a cheap piglet. Starting on the front end at price is just the wrong way to look at it, because my other videos, y'all have heard me say, if you've watched me very much at all, that I hadn't been watching the comments. I was going to finish and then I was going to go back, but I just saw somebody I've got to say hello to. Drifter, you finally made it to a live. How about that? If you'd done this a few weeks ago, you'd have 10 pounds of peanuts. Let's see, who else is in here? I see RG Homestead. Let's see. I can't scroll back very far. Anyway, anybody that's watched my videos very long, you've heard me lecture because I do it all the time. My son says I'm the world's worst about telling the same story over and over and over. But you've heard me talk about how cheap is the most expensive thing you can do. And that applies when you're buying livestock. You can buy cheap livestock. Going back to pigs. You can go out to a sale barn and spend 20, 25 bucks and get a 2-month-old piglet. You can go to a farmer, and there are piglets out there for right here in the area where I am. Go for $35, $40. Yeah, maybe 50, 60. I sell my piglets for $100 a piece, and I've got a waiting list. I've got a 2-year waiting list. And I produce 150 piglets a year. Oh, gosh. I produce 150 piglets a year. Sell them for $100 a piece and have no trouble moving them. They're far from the cheapest pigs around. Right here within 5 miles of me, I can tell you right now, there's at least 3 people selling piglets for $35 a piece. But quality needs to be the first thing. First thing you need to think about is your intended use of the livestock. Pigs, cows, chickens, doesn't matter. What do you want out of it? And then you look at the breed, what breed or breeds will give you what you want. Don't start with how cheap can I buy something and then expect to reach a goal that pig's or that breed simply won't do. Health. One of the comments in that video last week, don't remember who said it. If I remembered, I wouldn't say it anyway. But somebody was telling the person, the channel that was doing the live stream, that be sure to get heritage pigs because they're healthier. No, they're not. Commercial pigs are the healthiest pigs out there. These pigs that the breeds have been destroyed by hybridization just to get a fast growth. Think about it. What does a commercial pig farmer want? He wants a pig that'll grow fast, reach slaughter weight as soon as possible, on as little money as possible, to make him the most money. That's going to be a healthy pig. The meat's going to be garbage, but that's going to be a healthy pig. He's not going to be raising pigs that get sick all the time. Heritage pigs are actually more susceptible to disease than a hybrid, than all these hybrids. Now, if you when I say hybrids, commercial pigs are the result of probably 3 or 4 different breeds and 3 or 4 different breeds being mixed and then creating two more breeds that are then hybridized. If you take 2 heritage pigs, I told you that I raise large blacks and Berkshires. When you do that, you have helped both. There's a thing called hybrid vigor, makes them grow faster, and it does make them healthier. And a large black Berkshire hybrid is a healthier pig, less susceptible to disease than a Berkshire on its own or a large black on its own. Produces the same quality meat that the large black does. You can't tell the difference. But you created a healthier pig. You created a better pig for the homesteader. He will grow faster than a purebred large black or a purebred Berkshire. He'll produce a lot of meat. We're talking about pigs that get big. Slaughter weight pigs, 300, 325 pounds. You're talking about pigs that are healthier. They convert feed better, and they cost you more going in. Probably the 2 most expensive breeds you can buy as piglets to start with are large blacks and Berkshires. My breeding stock's $450 a pig. I've got a friend of mine who raises purebred Berkshires. He gets $400 a piece for breeding stock. The piglets that go as feeders obviously are not that expensive. Like I've told you, I charge $100 a piece for them. But I get it because people know that they're getting a quality animal. And that's what you need to look for when you're starting out. Not how cheap can you get something, not how cheap can you feed it, but how inexpensively can you do something and achieve the goal that you want at the end of the process. Part of it will be, do you want to breed or do you just want to buy a piglet every year for your freezer? Because some pigs are better mothers than others. Some pigs are better breeders than others. Some pigs produce bigger litters than others. Large blacks and large black Berkshire hybrids, I get a dozen routinely. A dozen piglets out of every litter. Some pigs only produce 5 or 6. All of that's what you need to think about. You don't start out with any livestock thinking price. How cheap can I get this calf or these chicks or this piglet or this goat kid? How cheap can I get it? Because when you get cheap, you're getting the most expensive thing you will ever get. Inexpensive is fine. Cheap is just that. You'll buy it 5 times before it quits breaking. I can remember, it's been 20 years ago, when I lived in town and got a weed eater. I'd go down to Home Depot and buy the $99 special. It'd run for a season. Next spring, I'd throw it away and go get another $99 special. It was the cheapest one there. Finally, I got smart and got an Echo that cost me almost $300. That was 12 years ago. And I think I have spent maybe 25, other than changing spark plug every now and then. I think I've spent $25 of routine maintenance on that weed eater in 12 years. Those cheap ones were the most expensive thing I could do. And that's true in livestock. Don't go trying to buy the cheapest thing you can find. Go buy something that will end up being what you want at the end of the road and work backwards. I want meat. Okay, these breeds produce good meat. I want meat fast. Out of this group, these grow fast and still produce good meat. I want a friendly pig because I'm a beginner. Okay, out of this group, here's the ones that have a good disposition. And eventually you get back to, here's 3 breeds to choose from. Pick the one that's best for your climate. Pick the one that you like the looks of best. But start at the end. Start with what you want to get out of the entire process and work backwards. So that's about what I've got to say on picking livestock. Let me pay a little bit of attention to the comments here and see what we got going on here. RG Homestead, I hope he does not to sleep the U. I think there's some typos in there. Yeah, Mary Grace got your peanuts, Drifter. Or what could have been your peanuts. Don't worry, there'll be another giveaway on those before too awful long. Now that you've got your notification bell set so that you make it in here, you'll actually have a shot at them. Nona Grace, not only are boiled peanuts good, boiled peanuts are the caviar of the South. Marion Eagleson, hello, I think you're a new one, or have I seen that before? I don't think I've seen that name before. Hey Bob, you have a good evening. Glad you stopped in. Nice seeing you, and I'll be watching your show here in a little while. Where are y'all now anyway, before you hang up and go away? Where are y'all this week? Bob must have already been gone. When he says he's got to go, he's got to go. Oh, let's see. Drifter, you say push that bell, remind people? Okay, anybody that's subscribed and hasn't pushed the bell, when you push that little bell beside the subscribe button, you get notifications. Drifter was subscribed, but he hadn't pushed the bell, and he wouldn't get notifications, so he didn't know when we were having the giveaway. So if you subscribed and forgot to push the bell, go back and push the bell. Let's see. Marion, a neighbor. June up there, June Carden, one of the other people here in chat. She's from Cartersville, and I'm just the other side of you. I'm up here in Jasper, or Pickens. No, I am not in Jasper. I'm in Pickens County. You couldn't get me to live in Jasper. Although they finally got rid of the junkie mayor. Come January 1st, they'll have a new mayor, and it might actually be a good town then. But I'm up here in North Pickens County, I'm about a mile and a half from the Gilmer County line. Let's see, we got any other locals in here? Yeah, Tom, you're just a little bit north of us too. How's that southern pig doing up there anyway? For those of y'all who don't know, you new folks in here, Thomas Schmidt Homestead Projects, that's Tom. And Tom paid us a visit here 4 or 5 weeks ago, I think. I think it was 4 or 5 weeks ago. And I sent him home with a large black pig. And I've kept one out of the same litter. Excuse me. He's going to raise it up there in his Yankee environment, the way he raises pigs, because he raises pigs too. And I'm going to raise it down here, raise mine down here in a southern environment, the way I raise pigs. And we're kind of going to keep track of, well, it's not really a competition. We're just seeing how the different methods affect the pigs. Let's see. Tom, the pig is loving the snow, or you're loving the snow? I want it to snow once here. I want to wake up every Christmas morning to see snow on the ground, and then I want it gone by noon. But every Christmas morning I want to see snow. Pete, where are you? Let's see. I know where everybody in here is from, except for, Kentucky, okay. And the drifter is, if I'm not bad mistaken, he's Oklahoma or Texas, I'm not sure. That's right. Bob was in North Carolina for there was a homesteading conference. Let's see, there was Bob, there was Sam from Green Acres Homestead, there was, oh God, what's his name? I'm drawing a blank. There was about 4 of them that were up there, and there was a conference that people were invited to. And that was yesterday, I believe. So he'll be moving along. He's going to wind up down in Florida before too awful long. That's right, Michigan and West Texas. West Texas, you can't grow anything out there in West Texas, can you? Just laughing. I'm just kidding. I'm not knocking Texas. Although, are you mainly a Michigan boy, or are you mainly a Texas boy? Because if you're a Texas boy, I might be fixing to insult you here. Hey, Loma Acres. How you doing tonight? How long have we been on here anyway? About a half an hour. Michigan mainly? Okay. You won't be too insulted then. I got one problem with Texas people. Texas people will tell you that they'll invite you over for a barbecue. And when you get there, it's smoked brisket. I got news for Texas people. If it's barbecue, it came from a pig. Period. End of discussion. Now you can cook other things barbecue style. You can cook meat. You can cook, beef, brisket. You can cook chicken. You can cook all sorts of things barbecue style. But if it's barbecue, it came off of a pig. Period. Hey, Karen. I'm seeing some new faces in here I'm not used to seeing tonight. That's good. Yeah, Drifter, but don't go saying that too loud out there in West Texas. You may not live to come watch another live stream. They get kind of intense about that. I got one person I watch their YouTube occasionally who thinks he's a barbecue pitmaster. And I've challenged him to a brisket smoke-off. He smokes a brisket, I smoke a brisket. We each package ours up, put it on dry, not all of it. I'm not going to give away a whole brisket. That stuff's too good. Package up maybe a pound and a half of it and ship it to a disinterested third party to see who has the best smoked brisket. Of course, now I'm going to cheat because besides the pigs, a couple of people in here know I've also gotten into cattle here in the last couple months, and I've got one that's going to the slaughterhouse the 27th, a week from this coming Wednesday. And when that one comes back, that's going to be, if I can get this person to accept my challenge, that's where the brisket's coming from that I'm smoking for the challenge. And I raise Wagyu, so I'm cheating. Oh, me. Loma, it's not a question of being disinterested in it. It's a question of what it is. Smoked brisket is just that, smoked brisket. It is not barbecue. And people in Texas will tell you, when you ask them about barbecue, they're talking smoked brisket. Not possible. Mutually exclusive. You think I got a little bit of a leg up on them starting with Wagyu, Drifter? Well, we're getting a little bit close to the end. I don't like to run these too long. I don't like to sit here and just make noise for y'all to have to listen to. So pretty much covered the topic I wanted to cover tonight. One other thing. Okay. I hadn't watched the chat very much till here toward the end. And my regular viewers that watch my other videos too, I know I've been struggling today with whether or not I should say anything about this on this live stream. I will, and I'm going to keep it short. Y'all, my regular viewers know that I got a little bit of bad health news earlier in the week. Folks, I'm fine. I will be just fine. As I told somebody today, I'm a good redneck. I've been in lots of fights in my life, and I've never lost one yet, and I don't intend to start with this. I thought I was through with it. I'm not through with it, but I will be through with it. I'll be through with it because I got some good doctors. My doctors know who is really in charge. I'll be through with it because of y'all's prayers. I'll be through with it because I don't intend to lose a fight. Things are going to be okay. They are. Now, how do I want to close this out? Number one, I think Thomas has already beat you all over the head about my book, but I'm going to beat you over the head about my book again. I've got a book out. It's strictly a Amazon Kindle book. The name of the book is Yesterday I Couldn't Spell Pig Farmer and Today I Are One. It's a good beginner's pig book. Yes, it mentions that I raise large black hogs, but it doesn't push large black hogs. It's just how to get started with pigs. If you're an Amazon Prime member, you can read it for free because there's an Amazon Prime lending library, and I think you get 2 of them a month that you can read for free. If you're not a Prime member, it's $8.99, and I'll appreciate it a lot. What else? Prep Setter Bob that was in here up until just a few minutes ago. He's got a live stream coming at 9 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Central. His live stream is at the channel name is the Self-Reliant Roadshow, and I think Thomas has his. I think Thomas has his a link to that. Most of these folks in here, I don't think there's a soul in here that doesn't have a channel. Y'all want to go watch each other's channels because everybody in here, I think I have watched their channel a little bit or maybe a lot sometimes, and they're all worth watching. Anyway, covered the book, covered watching Prep Setter Bob at Self-Reliant Roadshow. So I guess we're about done for the evening. I want everybody to go have a fantastic day. Wait a minute, back up. If you like the live stream, please give me a thumbs up. If you don't like the live stream, that's okay too. Give me a thumbs down. Tell me in the comments why. I can't make it better if you don't tell me what's wrong with it. I don't mind the thumbs downs, but tell me why. Tell me how I can improve. If you're not yet a subscriber, hit that subscribe button down there. Subscribe. You might find that there's a lot of stuff besides these live streams. Other videos that I put out that you'll like. Some of them are just Bob running off at the mouth. Stream of consciousness. Those are called all the coffee chats. And then some of them are actually telling you how to, my ideas on how to. I'm not going to tell you how to do stuff. You can do what you want to. I'll tell you my ideas on how to do things. There'll be one that comes out 7:52 tomorrow morning on how to do an electric fence. Solar powered electric fence on the cheap instead of paying $350, $450 for a solar fence charger. How to do it inexpensively and still do a good job. I think there's some decent videos on the channel. Subscribe. And when you subscribe, don't do like Drifter and forget to ring that little bell down there by the subscribe button. That way you get notifications when a new video comes out. All y'all have an absolutely fantastic week. I'm going to. And if I'm having a fantastic week, it'd be a shame if y'all don't. Having a fantastic week is a simple thing to do. It's not an easy thing to do, but it is a very, very simple thing to do. All you have to do to have a fantastic week is to remember 2 things. Remember that number 1, the tomb was empty. And number 2, he is alive. Now, I will talk to y'all later. See you.